Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. I didn't expect anything to feel different when my wife came back. Airports are loud. Hugs are quick. Life usually resumes where it paused. Claire had been gone 5 days, a short girl's trip to Lisbon with her college friend Megan. She looked the same walking through arrivals, same coat, same tired smile. But when she wrapped her arms around me, something in her looseness told me I wasn't what she'd missed most at all. On the drive home, she talked nonstop about pastel streets, wine by the river, laughter that lasted until sunrise. I nodded, smiled, kept one hand on the wheel. At a red light, she checked her phone, tilted away without thinking. It was small, too small to mention. Still, the silence between her sentences felt heavier than the traffic pressing around us. I told myself I was imagining it, like always lately, for no reason. At home, she unpacked slowly, placing souvenirs on the counter like evidence from another life. A scarf I'd never seen, a bracelet that wasn't her style. She showered, humming softly, and when she passed me in the hallway, she smelled different, not perfume, just unfamiliar. I asked if she was tired. She said she was energized, which felt like the wrong answer for someone who claimed the trip had been exhausting from start to end. That night, she fell asleep facing away from me, phone tucked under her pillow. I stared at the ceiling, replaying her stories, noticing what she didn't say. She never mentioned missing me. Not once. I remember how she used to text me photos just to say goodnight. Now her screen stayed dark when I reached for her hand. The distance felt deliberate, practiced, like she rehearsed it somewhere else before bringing it home with her. The next morning she woke early, already dressed, already scrolling. She kissed my cheek like a polite habit and said she had errands. When she left, I stood in the kitchen holding her coffee mug, realizing it was still full. Claire never skipped coffee. I opened the fridge, then her suitcase again, searching for nothing and everything at once. My chest tightened with suspicion I didn't yet dare name, because names make things real. Buried in a side pocket, I found a boarding pass. Folded twice. 2 seats. 2 names. Claire and Megan. The return date was correct, but the departure time wasn't. I checked my calendar, my messages. She left earlier than she told me. By a full day. My hands went cold. Not from fear, but from understanding how easily truth had shifted in a marriage I thought was built on routine honesty and quiet trust daily. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I watched instead. Watched her laugh at messages she didn't share. Watched her shower longer. Watched her step outside to take calls. Each moment stacked on the last until my patience felt brittle. I kept hearing her voice at the airport, saying nothing had changed, but something had. I just didn't know what she brought back with her from that trip across the ocean and into our home silently. That evening Megan called. I recognized the name lighting up Claire's phone, recognized the way Claire stiffened before answering. She stepped onto the porch, closing the door behind her. I stood on the other side, listening to muffled laughter and a sudden hush when the floor creaked beneath me. Whatever they shared, it wasn't meant for me anymore. I felt like a guest in my own marriage then, waiting for permission to exist at all. When she came back inside, she was smiling too hard. She said Megan was having boy trouble, needed advice. I nodded again. Later, while she slept, I checked her suitcase one last time. Beneath folded clothes was a small velvet box. Empty. No receipt. No explanation. Just the clear knowledge that whatever belonged there hadn't come home with her. My heart understood before my mind allowed it to, and fear settled quietly in my chest. I closed the suitcase and sat on the floor until dawn, replaying every moment of the past week. She had returned with stories, souvenirs, secrets. But whatever truly changed her hadn't crossed customs. It stayed lodged between us, unnamed and growing. By morning, I knew one thing for certain. My wife came back from that trip carrying something I no longer had, and it terrified me more than any argument ever could have done before. By morning, Claire was already awake, sitting at the kitchen table with her laptop open, untouched toast beside her. She looked up when I entered, eyes scanning my face like she was measuring how much I knew. I poured coffee, sat across from her, and waited. Silence has weight when both people feel it. Finally, she asked if everything was okay. Her voice was calm, almost kind, which somehow made it worse. I told her I found the boarding pass. I told her about the extra day. I didn't accuse. I didn't raise my voice. I just laid the facts on the table and watched her shoulders sag, watched the version of herself she'd rehearsed collapse in real time. She didn't deny it. She didn't ask how I found out. She just closed the laptop and stared at her hands like they belonged to someone else. She said his name was Daniel. British. Met him at a bar near the river the first night. It was supposed to be harmless. Talking, laughing, feeling seen. She said that part like explained everything. The extra day was planned after Megan flew home. She said she needed space, needed to feel something again. I noticed she still hadn't said the word love. Not once, not about him or me. I asked her what she brought back that didn't make it through the door with her. She swallowed hard, said confidence, said clarity, said the realization that she'd been living on autopilot with me for years. That hurt more than the affair itself. She said she didn't sleep with him until the last night. Like that detail might soften the blow. It didn't. Betrayal doesn't measure itself in hours or bodies. It settles where trust used to live. I asked about the velvet box. She laughed once, short and humorless, said it was meant for a ring, not an engagement ring, just something symbolic. She said she left it behind because it felt too real, too final. I understood then. She didn't bring it back because she didn't choose him. She also didn't choose me. She chose the space between decisions, the comfort of not committing to either truth fully. We sat there until the coffee went cold. I realized I wasn't angry, not the way movies make you expect. I felt hollow, like someone had moved my life an inch to the left while I slept. I told her I loved her, but I couldn't compete with a version of herself she only felt alive with somewhere else. She nodded, tears falling silently, like agreement without relief. By afternoon, she packed again, this time with purpose. A bag, not a suitcase. She said she'd stay with Megan for a while. I helped her zip it. When she walked to the door, she hesitated, waiting for something dramatic. I didn't give it to her. I just said goodbye. When the door closed, the house felt strangely calm, like it had been holding its breath for months and finally let go. That night, I slept deeper than I had in years. No phone under a pillow. No quiet resentment humming between us. In the morning, the air felt lighter. Painful, yes, but honest. I understood then what she brought back that I didn't. She returned with permission to leave. And I stayed behind with permission to finally stop pretending we were still the same people who once waved at each other from airport gates, believing love alone could carry everything home.